Yo, Inca, you want to come out here? How's it going on, everybody? It's your boy Incog, and it's MDA time. Week 3 review and week 4 preview. Let's just go ahead and get right into it, man. First game of the week this week, man. Also, before I even get started showing off how everything went, it has been a season and a half, I'll tell you that. But also, hopefully, you guys enjoy the content so far. And if you'd like to join the server, you definitely can. I will say that I am going to host probably a side tournament of sorts in January or February. We'll see how things really play out, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it here first, and I'll likely mention it at the end of every other video. But without further ado, let's go and get started with the first matchup of this week, which was the Electabuzz Little League taking a 2-0 victory over the Texas Toadscruel. As you can clearly see here, the Electabuzz Little League brought the Diasta's Attack, Chandelure, Ursaluna, Araquanid, Annihilate, Panavalug, while Texas brought the Koraidon, Overqwil, Primarina, Mega Diancie, Celesteela, and the Entei. And some highlights should probably be on screen this video. Yep, we have officially, or we're going to try to upgrade this week, but fingers crossed. This was a really good game, really good set, honestly. I think that it could have literally gone either way, but I feel like, you know, maybe Texas needs to make some adjustments to their team. Maybe they need to do some changes in prep. I don't really know, but it has not gone the greatest for them. I will not lie to you. Despite having one of the teams that I definitely rated pretty highly, in my humble opinion, it just seems like things aren't clicking as well. But not for nothing, having to fight an undefeated team this week definitely didn't help matters, of course. Oscar definitely brought this goddamn Diasta's Attack ready to just go on the grind, and Ursaluna doing its best impression of killing everything in sight. So it was a really good game by Ursaluna as well. Outside of that, realistically, this could have gone literally either way, at least game 1. I think game 2 is pretty much determined. Mega Diancie still proving to not really be doing too much in this league, unfortunately, which happens from time to time, of course. Some mons just don't do as well as you'd like them to. It is unfortunate, but somebody had to fry. But definitely a really good game by Oscar here. Chandelure putting in really a fair bit of work, honestly. And I'm reminded of the Flash Fire turn 1 and the Koraidon taking a chunk of damage from Shadow Ball, and I'm just like, maybe they aren't fully locked in. Maybe they just need the right win or the right week to really get it together. I don't know. But congratulations to Oscar for their 2-0 victory as they move on to 3-0. And speaking of undefeated teams, I think this next game should be the Malfour Mayhem beating the Stockton Ceruledge. So, holy moly. This, I'm going to keep it honest, this could have gone very differently had some things not happened. This game, I primarily will not show any highlights over, because I think you need to watch all 3 of these games. Not because that for any reason that I feel like you're looking at these statistics and you're like, what the fuck, what happened here? Man, all I can tell you is, status conditions, status effects, and everything in between are fucked up. They do a lot, but they are certainly fucked up. Reading off the teams, Sandy brought the Dialga Origin Blasters, Garbodor, finally Garbodor, honestly, Avalugg Hisuian, Kilowattrel, Arceus Bug, and Mega Gardevoir, while Bloody brought the Eternatus, Vikavolt, Glastrier, King Gambit, Tornadus, Therian, and the Togekiss. But yeah, this is one of those games you're going to have to watch. Honestly, it was definitely a fight till the end for both teams, but I will, like everything, status conditions are a bitch, RNG's a bitch, like everything you can name in the book. Anything that you think could happen, happened this game. Special big shout out to Togekiss. Not because of anything that specifically happened to it, but it definitely helped at least Bloody get one game on the board. But man, this was, yeah, you'll have to watch this one for sure. If anything, you have to watch this one. If you don't watch any other replays, which you should always be watching replays in the description there, this is the game you need to watch it for. Just saying. Very good game. Good job to Sandy on securing this 2-1 set victory as they move on to 3-0. Unfortunately, Blaze 1 and 2, but hey, everything could change next week, and we'll definitely see. But the next game that we have on the docket is the Orlando Solar Beretics beating the Zigzagoonies Great. And, you know, I only said it once now, but you do need to watch this game one. It is unfortunate how it did transpire, but let's just get into it. Ian brought the Tapu Fini, the Snorlax, the Landorus, Therian, the Necrozma Dustmane, Mega Charizard X, and the Amoonguss, while Mark brought the Rillaboom, Goodra, Vaporeon, Clodsire, Mega Charizard Y, Zacian Crown, and the Spiritomb. And let me tell you, man, game one was definitely not the greatest for Mark, and it was definitely more of a waiting game to see how it would all unfold. But then, you know, I say a waiting game of how it all unfold, I mean a waiting game of, you know, it was going to end eventually. Definitely not a great game one, but the game two was definitely better for Mark. And then game three, I guess Ian decided to lock in. I don't know. Ian doesn't really care. So I'm not going to give him too much credit for winning this game. All I'm going to say is good job, I guess, nigga. But definitely on Mark's end of things, I mean, that was a great game too. And it definitely shows that, like I said, Mark has been improving week to week to week, and it's going good. It might not went perfect this week, but honestly, I still like to see all my players do really well, and it's clear that it's going great. Definitely a 3-game set that you can watch, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. This is one of those ones as well. You should definitely watch it. But congratulations to Ian, I suppose, 2-1 set victory. Moving on to the last match of the week, we had the Reachfist Annihilate fighting the Flora Fluttermanes, and good God almighty, what a 2-game set. So, Primer brought the Iron Treads, Iron Moth, Iron Jugulus, Clefable, Milotic, and Mega Gallade, while Pantros brought the Galarian Dimanichan, Staraptor, Orthworm, Mega Medicham, Gastrodon, and Fluttermane. Definitely could have gone either way, at least in that game one, since it was only a 1-0 loss, I'm pretty sure. And there are definitely moments in this game where you're kind of like, ah, damn. If this decision was made instead of this one, this could have gone a little bit better. But definitely suffice to say, banning Miraidon was a great decision, but it is unfortunate because that means everything else gets to overperform and do a lot of work. And as you're all very aware, I might not be the biggest fan of Iron Jugulus. I mean, there's definitely one person out there who hates it more than me. But regardless of that, this was definitely a really good game by both coaches. I think that the Shedtail strategy might not be it anymore, but I could be wrong. I think that Orthworm has definitely served its purpose pretty well, but honestly, the fact that only this week that I guess he realized he could have been using this Orthworm to really bring in Fluttermane or do other things, maybe is alarming. I didn't really understand the context on that showdown chat box, but that's another thing for another day. I still think that this could have gone either way game one, but game two, it really showed that speed definitely means everything in this matchup, because, man, had there been a different Mega on Pantros' side, this could have been different. At least a faster Mega than Mega Gallade, I guess, but it definitely could have gone either way. But that game two was pretty much definitively in Primer's favor. Congratulations to Primer for picking up the 2-0 set victory. We move on to your standings of this week, which have not changed too much, I would say, but arguably we have 3 3-0 teams. Obviously, Primer, Sandy, and Oscar, all 3-0, all doing really well. Honestly, I only put Sandy over Primer because M comes before R. We have our 1 and 2 teams in Stockton, Flora, and Orlando. And then, unfortunately, we do have our own 3 teams in Texas and Zigzagoon. But it is still a race to see who can make it into playoffs, of course. This is a 7-week season. It's pretty much predetermined that at least one of these 3-0 teams will definitely either finish with 1 loss or no losses at this rate. But, you know, it's predetermined one of them is going to make playoffs. I don't know if all 3 of them will. You know, they could easily go 3-4 and fall out. I don't know. This league has had random shit happen all the time. Regardless of that, let's move on to your matchups of the week. So, first off, we have the Ragefist Annihilate versus the Zigzagoonies Great, and I don't really need to tell you much about this matchup, do I? So, here's how this went. Ragefist banned Zacian and Crown. Unfortunately, Mark was on vacation, so he didn't get a real chance to ban anything, unfortunately. But hey, I'm sure he would have probably banned Iron, maybe one of the Irons, but maybe Mega Gallade, honestly. So with that being said, Zacian and Crown's banned. And the 3-0 versus the 0-3. I'm thinking this is going towards Ragefist, but since Mark is heavily improving, I think this will definitely be an interesting game because Ditto not being banned, only being banned once, could definitely still play a factor in taking over Mega Gallade, or take over Miraidon, or even Iron Treads or Iron Moth, or anything in that instance, because it could definitely play a heavier role in this game than we intended to. I definitely think that Mega Charizard Y could definitely do a little bit, but I don't think it's going to do too much this game, all things considered. Just given the defensive walls that are on Primer's team, we could definitely see maybe more of a offensive performance out of something like a Scarf Buzzwold or even just Goodra in general. I don't really know, but I know that Primer definitely has his sights set on the fact that Miraidon and his Iron Mons, none of which got banned, and even Mega Gallade, so he can definitely go all out this week. This could be a slaughter, or this could be a 2-1 close set again for Mark, but I'm calling it in the air. It's 2-0 Ragefist in my opinion. Definitely matters more that the ban didn't get in on time, but it is what it is. He just, he was on vacation, and respectfully, I didn't need him to, when you're on vacation, you don't want to think about anything else but what you're on vacation for, to relax, of course. So, good luck to the coaches, and yeah, Primer should probably win this, but if he loses this, hey, all I'm saying is that would actually be one of the best games, one of the best turnarounds of this season, if anything, but I speak highly of everybody, or at least I try to. Regardless, your next matchup of the week is the Malfour Mayhem and the Electabuzz Little League, the battle of the 3-0s. Good God Almighty. So Oscar banned Bucephalon and Sandy banned Dias's Attack. We have the battle of the Avalugs. We have the battle of the... No, I don't really think there's really anything else that's really like comparable in battling each other. Regardless, I guess technically we could have the battle of the Ultra Beast, but Bucephalon got banned. But it is what it is. Regardless, I think this is kind of in Sandy's favor, but I think that I'm going to give this to Oscar 2-1. I think this will be a very close set. I think that all things considered, I think this could be a breakout game for Mega Beedrill, or this could be a really funny game for, again, Trailblazer Saluna, which some people who have watched these battles are not a big fan of. Or you can see Annihilate putting in a lot of work, just given the context of, unless it's like some Terra that's still not good into Kilowattrel, Annihilate has a really decent game outside of Mega Gardevoir and the aforementioned Kilowattrel, so definitely has to look out for that. I think Sandy's luck may run up this week, but you can never count Sandy out. That's why I had to make it 2-1, and it's probably going to be one of the closer sets of this week if I had to argue. I definitely think Sandy definitely has the advantage of not having one of his Ubers banned and having Bucephalon banned. I think that despite all that, while Deoxys being banned is definitely good, I could have seen maybe like Ursaluna or Annihilate banned, but hey, I'm not Sandy. He knows better than I do, clearly. And honestly, with his team setup, we might even see a Hisuian Avalugg sweep at some point, man. I don't know at this point. Shit, Garbodor showed up this week. Shit, it could show up this week too and do some shit. I don't know. Honestly, two really good coaches. One of them Bill's crazy and the other one is just really good at the game of Pokemon. And you'll never figure out which one is Sandy and which one is Oscar, will you? Regardless, good luck to the coaches. And, of course, I'm picking Oscar 2-1. Next matchup is Texas versus Stockton and the Fairies getting banned. I did not put the X over Togekiss for some reason, but Togekiss got banned and so did Primarina. Two coaches who definitely want to, I was going to say desperately, but I don't think that's the right word. But they definitely both want to win this week. Bloody at 1-2 and Texas at, or QSN at 0-3. Both coaches definitely looking for their first victory, or at least another victory for Bloody, while the first victory for Texas. I definitely think both coaches definitely need it to keep up in the playoff race. I will be honest, Togekiss getting banned is a little interesting. I'm still not seeing Eternatus getting banned, and honestly, that's putting a lot of pressure on me to say, what the fuck is everybody doing? This Mon is still doing really well. It's a menace. I understand some teams have counters to it, or at least based on the way that you can play around it. But man, that mon is fucked up. And for that reason, I'm picking Bloody. I mean, I don't think that, you know, Great Tusk and Koraidon won't have a field day. I think that they could definitely do it. But Eternatus is so fucked. It's just so fucked, man. I would call this the Mega Diancie coming out party, but I honestly don't know if it's gonna even do anything anymore. This mon has underperformed this season to my surprise, honestly. But this definitely could go one of two ways. We could see Eternatus and potentially still like Glastrier or Mamoswine put belt to ass, or we could potentially see Koraidon and Great Tusk finally have a going out party and put out for the city. I don't know. But I'm definitely putting Stockton over Texas 2-0. I think that this is a pretty cut and dry matchup. Without banning Eternatus and instead of banning Togekiss, I feel like that's a mistake unto itself. But I've been very wrong before in my life, and I'm prepared to be wrong yet again. Outside of that, we'll see how it all plays out. But good luck to the coaches. Obviously, I picked Bloody to win 2-0. Last matchup of the week had no bans, and that's some loser ass shit, and I will keep saying that until you hear me not say it anymore. Orlando has decided to stop banning because they're not a big fan of the banning system. Thank you, Ian, for that. And I guess in conjunction, Pantros is not banning anything, just to keep it fair. I guess you don't have to, but hey, I'm not your parent, and you guys are my friends, so, you know, you do whatever it is you want to do with your life. Just know you've disappointed me. Regardless of that, every mon being available is an interesting thought, an interesting theory, really. I would have expected Pantros to ban something, but hey, we're here. So, I mean, Pantros should probably pick up this W. I think this is a pretty cut and dry 2-1 matchup. I think the offensive pressure from Fluttermane and Darmanitan and Meowscarada is really good this game. Outside of that, Ian's counter to Mega Medicham is far and few between, besides like Dhelmise being a ghost type, I guess. But the offensive pressure that Pantros' team has definitely leads me to believe that he'll pick up the W this week. Though Ian picking up the W would be pretty funny, I don't think this nigga cares anymore. So I'm not going to pick him. And that's okay. You know, sometimes you just got to know your friends. I would like him to win, but hey, you know, you just got to know who you're playing with and know who's the coach, you know. If we're going based on team composition, I'm still picking Pantros. I think the offensive pressure, like I said, is still really good. But what would a team like Orlando's have for Fluttermane, Galarian Darmanitan, Meowscarada? It's not a whole lot going on. Could this be Palmot's coming out game? Probably not. Could it be Tapu Fini running a Iron Defense Calm Mind Store Power set? Maybe, we'll see. Or could we see Dustmane Necrozma do more like it should be doing all the time? We'll see. It's all a lot of who knows type shit. But 2-1 Pantros should probably win this. Good luck to the coaches as usual. But next time, ban some stuff, guys. Don't fuck around. Anyways, that's going to do it for your Week 3, Week 4 review preview. I'm Incog, as you already know. And hopefully everything goes off without a hitch in sight. I want to thank you all for watching. If you guys like this, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out the replays down below and join the MDA server if you like. I will probably hold an off-season tournament into another season of action whenever this season clears up, which will probably clear up within probably around December-ish range. So probably about February, I would say. So stick around, stay tuned, and remember, good night and good luck.